Ezema munyina kwa baby we ba na wotwe dwumadi so Adom TV so ne na fa Asempa 94.7 FM dwumadi ye twagu e wo ho so uko Adom TV Facebook page na fa Asempa FM Facebook page a obetima hwe dwumadi ye e wo ho enso me dey yosai bon so nondu ene ye sorry free dwumadi so me two guests na e wa ha madam won edi a kyeremo dada honorable Ayepe ayenso ano member of parliament and Ora Seth Oforihene ononso spokesperson on governance for the NDC 2020 campaign Mati ononso enka dada. My third guest research consultant IMANI Africa. For the past 12 years, IMANI ayedi efeni Manifesto medical aka atremo se omofa party bi wa bem Manifesto na omahwe promises a ewom na afi modern bo a sa party no abo wa ban mu se obe achieve promises no na omode nneoma sisi ene the percentage aba enti na wotwe mu eno mu ye bi ma NPP aben na panyiya na oda no leading that whole research and reporter eba beto dwane din e de Dennis Asare Dennis abekansa Dennis akwa ba na saying
nyame Adom we aboko wozwe
nyame Adom IMANI boko
nyame Adom we aboko papa
fantastic fantastic enti yeah shada in same bebre be go straight into the report and who to start for us than Dennis enti Dennis wa haidie Dennis beboy na yahwe breakdown tibia a summary of the report areas or more consider the methodology and how they arrived at some percentage 56.77 for the NPP. Dennis, inti boy yenyina yetio report no what is in there? So we'll summarize it.
Okay, so Obi, I mean we can share it I heard for so here IMANI since 2008 and I just said political parties on business plans about citizens in share the nyanda Argentina say NDD on the feasibility into the idea be and say ya behwe ne akire say we obetimi aye we ontimi nya ye hwe o man say the city ne ye koye nim na ene me dey nim ne bitima ye ne we ni bitima ye into free sabre na 2015 a manifesto assessment of NDC almost 2012 manifesto no and a assessment and then in 2016 a more final scorecard. In 2017 and I for the first 100 days in office. 2018 in the first year, 2019 the midterm assessment, and in 2020 then a final assessment about. Now in manifesto but I say citizens ba I was say omunya information be about say abaya me to amano djuma se no betimi adi ana djuma se no wadi pen nti sem side for hye ne nsa betimi aye ti ewie we nyina afi ye kom methodology na ekwan fa so ye no ye free bi say ye set yardstick ne on manifesto ni ye gidi say timamufo no nye se bi a omo free baby ana se bi ope na nado na Mr JM a 17 Ottoman nemu ohun se ohwe manifesto de abre no na ohwe na sitting ma sa manifesto ne bebo an into Ottoman no nti de ehun se modern democracy na se kamami ka bia memo na ye kono eye timamufo oto aba ohwe de obetimi aboa no na obi o gidi onimu se adwuma me de hye ne se obetimi aye ene to aba ma no enye se bi o free ha ana we free na se we ye celebrity we celebrate into ne to aba ma nti ene ade a na political parties nso so mo petumi a ade o de ko petumi e ne manifesto nti se braso na mbese mi hu modern a de o de beji tumi no ene o se me fa na me de susu if you say ye o hwe ye bibrim hanaya na ye hye de ne bi say long term development framework ni bi nti every 4 years bi a yes a coordinated program for social and economic development no sa program no so MPP hwema political party ni manifesto na omo transform e de yes a programs no nti wo hwe aban bia de obey bia na dodo na mu be chichemu be duokono de e na every the manifesto mu neba nti se mpese mi susu o modern mo ene onu kredi a wadi amaga na phone fie 9 dia na ne de o de copy etumi no eno na ogidi se bronika se kaze policy pathway ana se ekwan ya befa so a obesesa oman ne mpuntu nkrofo asetenem ni yedi nti ye adwin se ye fa o manifesto na ni akan promise bia na bohye bia wo bia bako ewi a ne ya hyehye nti ye wo computerized framework ho a ye be log in all your promises nti if we first that be rabben mu no ni a start a monitor performance ti be monitor then your first year e betimi eye assessment amount or third year ni a midterm then final year ni a conclude na your main source of information say we na ye more qualitative in its assessment no ye fa this a national budget.
Okay.
MDA report because in him say aban bi e kon fa so bu akonta chengo for a national budget. And I say MDAs no aban nyumaku no e kon fa so bu akonta your reports. And I say media enso report mo be ba. International agencies are esusu aban more than more. Nti fa sa report we nyina na e track o performance no. Nti we ha bo she bi aban bi abehya na say adwuma bi obe bia na ada say be pay your budget mu. And I say be a MDA be report mu and news sport and international agencies so be measure me so okay adwuma kra wo ye ha say no we do. Nti ewi a na ye reliability and validity checks and no che say you find information and I say ye ma e be NPP score we emphasize in the area of governance. Every promise be no score the man your information the support say based on this information I gather no and nothing the agent so ma score we. Nti emphasize also be office of special prosecutor. You share office no ho, then we give you a score. What shows office no ho? Oyemra, the actor establishing the office, and I was say a regulation. What's our point to be? So then we give you a score. Okay. It is also be National Asset Protection Project. You share asset now. Why a bill cabinet approved by Parliament they approve here. Okay. Into no there's a score at the amount. Into a promise but could be answer process banner and who here so be complete and send what achieve our promise we. Until lay down process now, then we give the processes marks until baby away drew no, and also it's more marks. Until you can't nina boom the away, the oguso ye, and they went to me and marks boom. Then the system will now give you a score based on performance. No? Then after the score, no, there's a grading sheet. Then the system also highlight that based on the performance over 4 years, no, and information you have gathered, no, you didn't say why a fair, satisfactory progress.
But the other question will be saying in terms of more score, no? Score be a weightier than the other 90. For example, say Office of the Special Prosecutor or more deliver more money saying as against if you are planting for food and jobs or more deliver and also more money. Okay,
very good. I think the Honda me say I'm filling the information. Yeah, by framework idea assessment and manifesto assessment framework, and there were 5 themes. Okay. The 5 themes and also in 2011 OECD and I didn't say and then in Krobi echo anyone be sound much. And I identify 11 key areas. Okay. Say chronic to me perform very well in these areas. They will see economic transformation, well-being, and prosperity. So that 11 areas now, you can sum all of them under economy, infrastructure, social services, governance, and human capital investment. So this becomes our basis for assessing Obia Manifesto. Okay. If our promise Biana, we will group them under this. Although manifestos are much sure on a sector basis. Yeah. By sector basis, we are categorized under these 5 things. So here economy, your broader economy, no? Trade and industry, culture and tourism, and agric. Yeah. Into a far we say governance, governance, public accountability, corruption, security, foreign affairs, chieftaincy, and religious affiliation, civil society. About human capital investment, your education and health. About social services, that's you look at poverty reduction programs. Programs are out there too here, so youth development and sometimes
social
sports.
Interventions.
Yes, then over infrastructure, so there's energy, lands and natural resources. Your structural development, roads, highways,
works and housing.
Works and housing. So on your port and harbor, and your water infrastructure. Then there's environment, science and technology. Coming in album under these 5 themes. Okay. So you say under that OECD assessment, so say governance forms the foundation for everything. So our sound political system, you can build a country or build institutions that will deliver inclusive growth. Into here might be sometimes the problems start from the political system. Even sometimes we be investment, a political risk right here. So governance a key. Then after governance, the next most important thing is to have a thriving economy. Economy a movie so that institutions, business, and other key functions can work together and deliver inclusive growth. Into economy and governance, you retain higher.
Okay.
So economy is rated 25%.
25% for each promise delivered.
Yes. So if we are assessing, we are applying weight to the promise now. We will multiply the performance by the weight. So promises under economy are weighted higher than promises
and that's
under
25%. Okay.
Then about governance, and so governance is rated higher because the economy and governance will form the substructure, and the superstructure can survive. So education, human capital investment and social service is rated 15%, because for them, once the economy is moving well, social intervention projects can work. And education and health requires a very sound governance and economic framework. Absolutely. But for the two others to also work, you need a very good infrastructure base. So infrastructure too will be rated 20%. So when we are done, then we apply weights to the performance of each promise. So the more you do well, let's say in the economy, we believe that then all things being equal, you are more likely to perform better in the other areas. So that is why we apply weight. Okay,
that makes sense. Meaning for Oro for Rihene and Honorable IPay, at this point, me say you share the methodology we use, does it make sense to you, Oro for Rihene?
Oh, I think I will share IMANI report. Problem be any. It be a problem. I'm marks no. But to be honest with you, with my level of knowledge and experience, I think they've done a very good job.
The methodology is
almost assess it on various key levels like governance, economy, social services, infrastructure. These are key indicators or assess a country via development partners, research institutions near the end, and all the
only problem with the methodology. The methodology does it sit well with you? Okay.
And Max also say, okay, so now I say, natural 2x plus x is equal to 2x plus x. Now we see, when you say 2x plus s is equal to 2x plus x. By method that, actually said 2x plus x is equal to 2x plus x in there.
But what do you say? Maybe. What do you say? The same marking scheme. Me the same professor develop different marks.
2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Now I can say, yes, 3 because 2 plus 1 is indeed equal to 3. But me to say 2 plus 1 method no, correct. I answer the way how can that be?
Okay.
Say, what you to say 2 plus 1 a method, mathematical method, the calculated results there, and the gentleman say 3 is correct. Say when you say 2 plus 1
with you, Onyano wrong. I don't know your.
I'll come back to it.
Now, until 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So what gentleman say?
And your mathematics, mathematics are any.
I'm not talking about mathematics, it's methods. I never told you what I'm saying. Now, math is not methods.
You agree with the methodology.
Exactly. But me challenge one say, hey, now you have baskets. It's normal eco basket. And I see inflation. Now you say, what of of your choice. Now they good baskets and amount inflation. So me person inflation lower. Me to me pay
other
products into the basket. Nti baby, I know challenge kakra ne enoma e call basket ni.
Okay.
Then me ko ya na obey you.
Baby, what kind about the methodology here adwuma? I'm talking about method but data would call method ni mu. Say box class 1 plus box box plus 1 is equal to 3.
Yeah.
What is the box? 2. Nia what method mejetum. But say what the 3 equal to box no man. Say we nya 3 we nya 4. Very well. Inti method na there box plus 3 is equal to no method, mathematical method ejetum. But what goes into the box? Tell me your answer.
Okay.
Inti me say what the 2 equal to box plus 1 nema or 3 we are correct. But bia say me the 5 equal to box no me nya 6. And what am I make say you only share box no so me tenachi as NPP ni amako parliament 12 years me ni madwuma ye betwe na end this year 8 years and na ye betwe and na adwuma ya within 4 years end this year me hwe adwuma ya na me hwe ni ama wo de to box no nya 56 no se me so me na what tenase 1 on 1 now the with data no mame Oh, method no man. Na me so me the inputs me wono eguma met me na 86.
And no the
I want to challenge no. It me for 56 na wanya no. E wo fam dodo. Ya hwe adwuma ya yo.
Na so me the input egumu a.
Let me just say something small here. Clarify, Dennis, and it's because there is even a controversy around the number of promises the NPP made in their manifesto. And for example, NDC for ASSA NPP now, Omukaso make 866 promises. NPP and Kasasi make 388 promises. For IMANI, how many promises did you find say NPP make in the manifesto?
In total, no, NPP make 510 promises.
510 promises.
Yeah, and at the time NDC 2012 make 540. 540 promises. Yeah.
But into 510 against 388 according to them. Why that huge disparity?
So and then I say it's promise counting, no, a very tedious process. I can take us months to finish. So when we pick your manifesto, party be of a manifesto now is straightforward. Like my find this in new manifesto in example, a straightforward let's say list of promises. So when they pick, let's say health, they just do a bullet point. When they pick, let's say agriculture, they'll do a bullet point. So when in that sense, when I'm counting it, I count the bullet points. Now, if you take, let's say, the new NPP 2020 manifesto now, it's kind of started with a story, performance, what I would do. So in that case, when you pick a paragraph, you now have to identify promises within the paragraph. Now, another side of it is that it's not say work now, you check it say sectorial, NDC can make a promise under health, but that same promise might have made let's say in cocoa sector. So you have to do that differences now. So then we have to clear that. And I did your Honswa, Obi ho kan na dwen say bia enye promise. But the moment what is we will, then it becomes a promise that you are making. But the one started with such phrases now on the bullet point. So in the process of counting promise, there are different strategies they use. The word you use. If you list them, it becomes easy. Say we are all listening, say 1, 2, 3, 4, it becomes easy. But summon it up together there, then we have to break the sentences into different parts. Then we identify. When suddenly we see pay, now we see a share system would have to match the promises. Say promise not duplicate here, it will flag it up. The moment you enter, then once you project it, maybe one day you can come and have a look at her. You project it, you see that it will flag it up. So we are when we do all the corrections, then we take one particular promise, run it through, it doesn't appear again. The same promise, run it through, it doesn't appear again. So you then you know that if you put the promises into, let's say, single sentences, then you can count 1, 2, 3, up to 510 promises.
510
yes,
promises.
and I'm just, when 2019 midterm now, this year, I think that we had a conversation, Ministry for Monitoring and Evaluation, Ministry of Finance. Promise counting is not a problem because they know say sometimes the way they might have even putting the thing together, it looks like a promise, but maybe to them as a government, it might be something like a statement that they are making in relation to that. So in terms of promise counting, we believe say you 5 institutions, we accept that differences, but where the difference is too huge, like you say 800, 510, that one day it becomes very, very, very difficult. But where the difference, the margin of errors, we say 510, maybe 497. That one is accepted. 510, 450. You can understand, but where a bro 100, then we understand. So okay, maybe as a government. There are some things omono say bia enye promise. And maybe okra sometimes share listening to Dr. Baumia's consistent presentation. Adia enye manifesto promise. In this assessment, we won't count it. Because as we are not being consistent. In the time of the NDC, we picked the manifesto. So
promise.
If I am looking at NPP, I can't say, I'm bringing non-manifesto promises into the framework.
But Dennis, one other thing is, and I remember say controversy way by time NDC assessment. The reaction from the government, and it says, so for manifesto now, there is an introductory comment. For example, so a strong economy matters, and we 2016 NPP manifesto. Almost article say, a strong economy creates opportunities and inspires more people to start new businesses. In much the same way, a strong economy encourages existing businesses to make new investment, to grow and expand more and well-paying jobs are created. The private sector hires more people, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, the economy is broken. There is widespread hardship. And then, this is because John Mahama has been a bad steward of the economy, and also with 20 billion in taxes and loans, blah, blah, blah. Now, Omababema, this is our comparative record in office. Omodesa records, no, Abba. And Sana, Omaba, Omo, DNS, okay, where the NPP increased, and you can see, say, now, Omoma, Neomo, yeah, previous the time of Munya power. So, Omo, Abba. There are other sectors, and for example, Greek say, almost Statica say, the NPP believes in modernizing Greek and we in the NPC case, no, almost fast introductory comment, no, lines are never more to them. No more say some kind of a promise. And son the real bullet point, no, almost counting in also count. To baby, you know, say promises never cost. Government things say bullet point was rather than introductory comment. What is in there looking like a promise?
Okay. So
what did you do
for us? Introductory comment, you know, because we work in the space and we know what you are talking about.
Okay.
So if it is not a promise, we can easily tell.
Okay.
So something like all that you read, there's nothing like a promise in all that you read.
That's true.
So the moment they get to the NPP government shall, then you start picking up what
they are saying. In going forward, manifesto new year, IMANI and other think tanks. In consultation with the parties' manifesto committees, you to me number of promises, paired analysis. I have into this or beg governor baby. And so I catch you will say, my promises now can 580, maybe 660 something. Because from beginning now, when manifesto the bar out, you consult to a number of promises are a manifesto. Access and confirm looking at the manifesto our promises a woman. We go baby mid-year. That's the middle of the term. Me guess you access so won't mean some back make us there be and yes
especially gradually more come at the center of assessment. So most start here no I think Michelle was studio one so because now a new year might develop and we have to understand. Well, in the answer, mobile center, and so we engage the political practice. You
are all on the same page as to the promise.
Remember one typical example. Your papa,
my mom fan and cinema about.
Well, now part of the process. Into the bar, now my far, now my chairman who say, oh, why a fair assessment of the situation
based on promises
and these are the framework for the assessment or the
the risk is that initial example now in my mind they don't make things clearer. So we'll share still in the 2016 manifesto NPP's economic policy objectives and at that we almost started with an introduction almost say on the economy our goal is simple, to build the most business friendly and people-friendly economy in Africa, which will create jobs and prosperity for all Ghanaians. Who consider we as a promise?
So this one will be like a sub-theme.
Okay.
So it's a sub-theme. Then I come to do what you are going to do under
what you are going to do
under it.
I think so, the confusion.
This is going to be a
sub-theme. Consider some of these things as promises because
so the moment I make a statement, I know how to categorize the next things coming up.
Economy, and they think there is something
there's something that you are going to do. So,
but the promise that will give you that resource is there.
It's there. Maybe also they may just say this. They may say this, and nothing will follow.
Okay.
The moment you end at this, then this one to become a promise. But the moment Abeko say we will do this, definitely
because we will say to achieve our objective.
Good.
Our principal economic policy direction will be to one.
Yes.
Good. Restore macroeconomic stability. Then
we have done.
So here she to her. Their first promise. That's where stuff. Macroeconomic stability. That one too can be a sub theme. Okay. Now macroeconomic stability. What would you do?
Yes. What would you do?
Then we start counting.
Super. In at least one saying on that same page, you know. After you share another example. Quickly.
No, make sense. We say apart from say. You have consult parties, number of promises within a manifesto per period. What goes into the basket? You say, you consult political parties. You say, you about 2017, and a majority in parliament and a government, they decided, say, you act Ache, it be 1974, it be 1969, it be into the amended act. Parliament 2017 to date, that is 7th Parliament. I'm very busy. Me committee president, Accident and Incident Investigation Bureau of Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. Amending National Road Safety Act. Act be even as to speak, you go so act. Into no what the sign it's our governance because the acts no conflict. Now at mode that proper governance.
So for example, the honorable kind say on the approach to fight routes. I say by amending some illegal instruments, we will work to ensure a legal framework to fight, let's say, road accident. Yeah. So that section, we will consider that airline you are doing. So even if you look at Shita, that thing is considered. Until the moment we pick the promise, any single thing you did around that. Yeah. So that's the beauty of the thing. You may not have promised that you're going to revise or review the laws around that particular thing. But the moment I'll be I can pick it as a source evidence to assess your performance. You are getting that thing. Okay. So, NPP 2016 manifesto now, I won't say more 5 key policy directions. So this could be our sub-themes, a debate track promises. The promise needed, it can take us 4 months to even finish knowing that we a promise, and it's multi-phased. The first team will do it, another team will come, the third team, before we all sit together and finalize it. So that's why an account, political parties too, and sometimes you understand.
Let me now do this. After me pick more general comment about the percentage of the NPP. 56.77%. Same time last 4 years, more NDC, now saying 52.9. 52.9%. Great. And now say NDC, they're not promises near 540. And now we promises near 510. Great. In the honorable IP, Mona more Abayemu. IMANI, at least our credibility is not in doubt. Or more I go through my manifesto. You see, my methodology, we are all clear. 56%. 80+%. Do you agree with the percentage?
Percentage from right from the beginning, I can't more issues. It depends on your the cool. It's say, but as an individual, near my party, NPP, a bayan and Adom Kwakufado, a dano, near Yaye, now made the compare 56 now, or Fem Kakra. Apart from that, young Ankasa access here. He said, who Abema, we are by even a political party, we are my Abema goes to access on. Okay, elections, so be winning, so be losing, so to me assessment. No, here anyone when this for what we call 2016 we assessment. And my money report. Into only Pakra one as our dad asset at the end of the year, now so to me, self-assessment. Now I say, Abrabono Boni, then a quay, then uncle, then I'm a system of Wami. It is a MPP, Yakasa, Boomana could do baby. Not say assess here. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. The young assessment now, meaning say IMANI so enya a copy of our reports, assessment reports. Actually, say and then the MPP the core basket into 86% and 80% plus young fanko and basket into 56%. This is an common in the sound and Kabebwa. And I then MPP at the core basket no 80 plus anka say what the core basket will pay our
back question, but I think we have to clear this. So we share NPP or more own assessment now. Delivered, delivering, and not yet delivered. In their case, even the ones they said delivering, no, no score. You know, in the moment, Moma score to only promises delivered, and now said the ones in the process of delivering, so Moma score.
The restaurants, I never say results phenomenon last year. Was influenced by a manifesto assessment.
Okay.
So when we met different state agencies, they also thought it's a yes, our bank as a crank by assessing. So what they did, the response to our manifesto midterm assessment was the results for any town hall meetings. In year assessment, we look at all the 3.
Okay.
They were implemented. So for example, there's a chart here. I wish I could send the infograph Nanga or more through up. So here on chart now, out of the 510 promises, 151 are fully delivered.
Oh, okay.
280 are partially delivered. Then 79, it's undelivered. Okay. So in terms of even activities they've worked on, you can say 280 plus 151, so about 470 promises out of almost 510 a day they have worked on it, and out of let's say over 470, 151 there. Deliver.
Okay.
Then 280. And the beauty about this final score, last year's at now the promises are they had partially delivered, were even less than 200.
Okay.
So within this year, they pushed a little more on the promises that they were working on. Oh. But they fully implemented, and they're just about 10 per the
Okay.
Just 10.
10.
So we consider all of that. Then coming to the things that they consider. When we are objective judges and we are assessing your performance, when I pick some fine information back, you break it down, the processes are leading to fulfillment of a particular promise. So if government is assessing itself, that's okay, of our infrastructure, that's okay, be expand the portal. The moment there's an agreement, even in process, the government will give itself full score.
Yeah.
But on our scale, once the agreement is, let's say, an MOU, you won't get a full score.
Okay.
So that is, And once we agree with them, or let's say they agree with us on some about more than 300 promises, ultimately we can see that they agree with the whole thing that we have done. But in terms of considering information, it is information that state and Angasa generate from your national budget, from your MBAs. Okay. Then sometimes for you better ensure more validity, then you go up and look at international reports ahead of that.
Okay. Well, when we say over parliament, chair 4 infrastructure sectors. That is the roads and transports, roads and highways, transport, that is the harbors, railway development, and aviation.
Yeah.
So, ministry senior a major in infrastructure development.
Yeah.
Now, make sure your manifesto as 2016, na kind on infrastructure. Now, may they compare. This is a report from the Ministry of Roads and Highways. I can even give you a copy to have a look at what we have done across the country. We can within the 4 years, within a period. Now, make sure railway. We've done even more than what we put in our manifesto. Railway. Because it do baby who said Ghana power and transport system I just see you put railway ahead. So we fast track development in the rail sector. Uba aviation. Ube who say and the COVID and aviation separating Ghana Civil Aviation a regulator. Formerly or a service provider and a regulator at the same time. And the accident and incident investigation service has been taken away from them. And air navigation has taken away from Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. So Ghana Civil Aviation becomes a regulator, regulating Ghana Airport Company, Ghana Air Navigation Service Agency, and the Accident Investigation Bureau. It's what to say under even the 4 sectors no ground. So the manifesto to one. You can see about harbor fishing harbors. 11 at the go. 11 at the go. There's one crown. The president can't so the chance. It makes it 12 at the go. Into which I say no way in now catch me see. Many 56% down. Under my 4 sectors no man when you
no, but
so if a new manifesto promise, then you are fair to the previous government. I assess your other report. It is a budget analysis, your critical analysis, and your other policy briefs. I bar. And no, the capture said Jumaya and to show you budget analysis report. You see, never be sir. Critical analysis report in the there's a new one in 11 days time. Critical analysis of your manifesto promises. Okay. Now in the critical analysis, all of these things have been captured.
Oman promising the manifesto by
so it will lay a foundation to the state of the sector. Okay. They will look at the new things you are promising. Taking cognizance of current situation. It is a manifesto promise. That's the thing say you have done it. So because of then we will be disturbing the whole framework.
But
it can be a source information for us to assess or score something.
Manifesto say maybe Ghana aviation hub in the sub-region of West Africa. That's a member. Now maybe Mankesi, member, Meti Air Navigation, FE, Ghana Civil Aviation, member Ghana Civil Aviation, Abe regulator. Now say maybe we say and suddenly to me am Ghana aviation hub. I just say me yes I normal way. Na me meeting international protocols. Na it me my investment into the industry neba. Na me achieving manifesto promise. Now catch me say no you are not thinking
it will be a source of information. No, because if I promise now you break it down what processes are required to finish this promise. If say here legal framework you be county legal framework. information we use are what you have done.
Yeah.
Into why although you didn't promise it to, but in line with the fulfillment of a particular promise.
That one will be counted.
That one will be counted.
That point.
That will be very counted.
And 56
Very counted.
Home-based airline. When we say, yeah, no many, and we say, what could you say? Paperwork in documentation. What will you okay, what's it say? It means paperwork in no you have a score.
You have a score.
But any score.
Yeah. Egyptian Air.
Yeah.
I sign MOU.
Yeah.
I get your BBA Parliament for approval. It is all catch me say MOU grammar square. Then aviation industry no it's like you to me 90%.
Under the aviation sector, how many things do you promise? Because those things are why are information that may they air score. So I say, but they are not new promises. I mean, what
I was a bit
May I first say Imani has been very charitable
to this government.
Yes. Honestly.
Yeah.
56%. May say be almost 56%. Oh, of course.
Some of
Even and some honorable council 1 year say most of the projects from our government. It's true. Airport major reforms across here. It's you and John Mahama. What I say? Port expansion. Starting under John Mahama. Meboa.
Oh, then look at that port expansion.
Maybe. Aviation sector, okay. Major developments in the aviation center happen under JM as far as the Fourth Republic is concerned. Meaning say Becca terminal trade, which can't pay, but it's a fact. We see terminal trade. We're changing the face of your arrival, which is very key to investors. So be a rural country, be a one in the first point of call. Yes, I think the whole of West Africa will be any such an what I say. And you know, comparison, aviation, mundu hokra, and in Yoma Woka Bebre, I mean, who baby I would what I say. But a report in discussing I think that you've been charitable. They are not up to 56%. Even in terms of, if you take the various sectors, for example, governance, NPP, Atosin, and then Anado's government, the ability to meet the needs of the people, to me, what you say, which is one. Manifesto, the presentation of IMANI here, highlight ewo screen. So into us Seth Kasano will be to me actually that's under economy,
trade and industry.
All the sectors about the economy. And then let him finish.
The facts are there.
Seth,
as we speak, more can say even my main shifting fee governance, I mean economy quickly. As the country is growing less than 1%. It's a fact.
Projected 0.9, but that's because of COVID.
It's even been revised to 1.5 to 2.
Yeah.
It's been revised.
Well, yes, it's been revised. But you cannot just run to COVID. What in our pattern? They say BBR COVID.
Oh, be fair.
Yeah, maybe. Quickly. No, quickly, maybe. Quickly, my bad economy. Yeah, you saw figures. Okay. What the emphasis say? Even it's growing at 2%. You hand it over government, man, and Adom, notwithstanding all the economic challenges at the time, economic growth need drop to 3 points. Something. Nanado said we've performed very bad as a government. Now, who be done and say. But also when you're a crisis, would you not drop less than 2%?
Would you are you comparing the two?
I am not. I am giving. No. You see, yes, of course, there is a global pandemic, but there is also sub-regional indicators of economic growth. Is his economic growth able to meet a country like Cote d'Ivoire? Just give me an answer.
A contextual.
No, you see, if you do those analysis, you see, I almost
internal challenges.
If you are going to figures,
okay.
I had economic growth. I what you say? The American person what you say say comparison. in terms of governance, in terms of the economy, okay, in terms of infrastructure, you are not close. But almost sorry, no matter. Just any panel can crowd back. I say, Sabian, Ghana. But in some American, maybe when I am in creative figures, no. There was statistical service, or though at a time, no, some of us or some academics were worried with the way of the calculation of the growth. Because said there have been other development in terms of calculating growth.
Like rebasing
of and the other things. What you say, but no crowd out there in here for now. What you say, but fat figures on the ground that we perform far.
But Seth, the objective man now it's IMANI.
Oh, I'm all for it.
It is also IMANI a year assessment of a manifesto. 2012, 2016.
No, mine 52.
Or mine 52.
Yeah.
IMANI aya assessment 2016, 2020. Well, we move 56.
Yeah.
How do you then say omo memo e will be?
First of all, omo memo in terms of way no assessment,
number of promises.
It's based on number of promises.
Yeah.
Get
Absolutely.
it clear. In terms of performance of the economy, generally, classifying it governance, economy, infrastructure, social, and say we performed far better than that. We can put the figures together.
Based on which indicators now they make it our conclusion.
Of course, even as far as this Fourth Republic is, we had the highest growth rate. I think that was.
But that was in 2011.
No, don't cross. We had the highest growth rate so far
14%.
under JM. Yes. It's never happened.
Mills. It was under Mills as president.
He was the head
JM
of the economic,
head of the economic management team.
It's never happened. And you don't want to accept that.
No,
one of the best then. Growing under 2%.
When COVID is melting,
growing under 2%
in the world.
Check the growth rate of our neighboring country, Cote d'Ivoire.
COVID.
No, just check the
all
growth
the
rate
economics in the world.
of Cote d'Ivoire.
Countries are growing in negative. Advanced countries.
Nigeria is doing negative.
Nigeria is doing negative.
Now, the government, to me, managing the economy.
My brother, as we speak, have you confirmed
the positives
2%?
And move.
The last audit review,
We can go about the finance minister and CASA projection.
Yeah,
finance minister can say 0.9 in the mid-year budget.
Yes.
Which is under 1%.
Yes, under 1%.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
What other countries under COVID no, is growing negative? IMF.
And there are others that are growing.
With all the crises that
there are others that are growing more than 3%.
Yes, I was saying say countries say Cote d'Ivoire. I was saying say one dependency on foreign goods and the deals for foreign goods and imports and exports. You know, at the media that shocks me to me absorb international or global crisis like COVID. And the countries you depend mostly on imports. And a normal exchange rate to me, young economic growth need to me drop. But a country like Ghana are more mostly we importing. That's with this crisis affecting global economy. Import and export now drop. Now to me growth still in the positive. What do you mean about
the truth is you are growing under 1%.
That's
the truth.
On the economy. Promises Ben make which of them have they been able to fulfill specifically?
Okay, so then maybe a great sheet in there. I know it's a win. So the first thing is almost they work to achieve a double-digit GDP growth annually for the next 4 years. Now, before the pandemic, projections didn't even show that the highest that it was projected in Ghana was around 8%.
8%, yeah.
So before the pandemic, that was even the possibility for the country. Then pandemic came in December, going into 2020.
In fact, in 2017, Omu grew by 8. 2019 it dropped to 6. 2018 6. 2019 6. And 6.2. And 2020 projected to grow by 0.9.
Even IMF has revised 1.5%, between 0.9 and 1.5. That was the new consultation review. They think that's the possibility, but anything can happen. It may even go beyond that, it may even go even below that. So the promise on achieving a double-digit GDP,
they couldn't.
In that sense, before the pandemic, it was impossible for you to do it. And even post-pandemic, it's even much harder. You get a score of 0 straight out.
Okay.
Because in that sense, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Now, there's something that they also promise on, let's say, will reduce the cost of... But even if you put it to any contest, it's impossible. Whether you use the old series, the new series, it's very difficult to project here to grow at a double-digit GDP. So that one day, you can't do it. Yeah. Now, there are something like, will reduce cost of doing business. What they did in line with such promise, they abolished the special 1% special import tax levy. Yeah. The VAT on financial service, they abolished it. They passed something like a fiscal responsibility law that would even help them revive the economy. In that sense, improve cost of doing business.
And reduce deficit.
Yeah, reduce even deficit. Then they also abolished the 5% on real estate services. They also abolished the 17.5 domestic VAT on airlines operations in the country. So all of these sum up, and some entrepreneurial support that they provide. Even in the pandemic, it made them even able to do that more. NBSSI projects, they also had a partnership with the World Bank, and all of those funds practically echo in Numaho. So most of the money that they spend now went to the, let's say, industry. So access to capital was much more, let's say, lesser during the pandemic than even before. The interest rate to over time consistently it declined. Then another thing that they also did was create more institutions. This is a Ministry for Business Development. One way or the other, facilitate businesses. GIPC between 2017 and 2019 has seen much growth in terms of investment attraction. And there's a report now. We are seeing much more attraction, even in the pandemic round. They are doing that. Then again, OBA and even taking the doing business report, although we are not performing well, but in terms of an area like, let's say, electricity tariffs, in 2018, they reduced end user tariff for industry. But later on 2019, they increased it twice. So there are some things that they did that shows that they are committed or suggest that they are committed to reducing the cost of doing business. I did talk about manifestos. They say, when you are precise, a score in the easy. ABA achieve double-digit GDP. And the money easy. But we need to say we will reduce the cost of doing business at all rates. It becomes difficult. But we look at what you have done around that suggests you are committed to that promise.
India no salmon or full score.
No, it will be a partial score. Because there are issues with property registration. There are issues with
I'll pick your reaction.
There are issues with taxes. We need to say now breaking down the VAT now. NHIO is a whole tax. Then there's another, Get Fund 2 has become another tax. Now that one too is also a challenge. Even in the doing business report, it was recognized as one of the things that will affect businesses going into the future. So another thing like property registration, I've raised that. So we will pick an international benchmark that assesses the cost of doing business. Then look at where you are not performing well. Then we will grade you. Another one is maintain fiscal discipline. I think these were their best performing areas. Set up the Fiscal Responsibility Council, pass the law, build institutions to help us do that. And over time, between 2017, they were fiscally disciplined until the pandemic. Now, fiscal deficits are around to grow about 16%. Projected to grow at 16%. So in that sense, then they have achieved that target. Then in another area like, let's say, financial inclusion, then they talk about mobile money interoperability systems, expanding mobile services and all of that. Then banking transactions, now linking mobile money services with banks and other things. Those ones also suggest their commitment to that.
For example, I want to say it's an ongoing thing.
No. We have the I think we did a sub-bridge apart from Kenya.
No, maybe somebody who are the course here ongoing.
Like your friend is saying, financial inclusion. It's been an ongoing thing.
Yeah, but you look at
am I right or wrong?
Also, financial inclusion you never end because there are a lot of the population that are still unbanked. Until gradually still do, but if you look at the commitment now it becomes much more accessible. Like Ministry of Communication expanding the telephony site that will increase mobile access to okay. And the say tax they were straightforward in the manifesto. We abolish this, we abolish this, we abolish that.
Okay.
They did that. All of that are under economy. ABA in the area of, I'm just trying to look at, in the area of job creation. So we to say, provide a reliable and cost-effective mix for energy supply. I remember business ABA, their source of electricity will be quite cheaper, so that they cut down on electricity. So what the government did was that, naturally, has say no krumano. Industries don't produce your electricity crazy and most of them are motor free. So then, influence mix, no. I had the tariff from. So government went all out for natural gas. And you see that now about 60% of generation there is coming from natural gas and hydro. Nonetheless, a car sector and that we have not seen that sharp decline in energy tariff. But the government tried to reduce tariff even for industry. So in that sense, YBO. Then your Oman Kasan pursuing policies, pursuing policies to reduce interest rates. That one too. We see some works that they've done there. Then stabilize the currency. So in terms of stabilizing the currency, that one too will be partial because in terms of looking at the extent at which it was growing, although the rates of growth are above for decline, but in terms of value there, it is still high. In that sense, you get a partial score.
Which means that like previous governments know why rating were high anchor value never cost.
Another something like
why you reduce
investing in
the rate of why you reduce the rate at
interest rate depreciation,
CD depreciation.
The rate reduce, the value also comes down. But when the rate increases with time, the value also go high. So the previous government now rating it very fast. You know, I can start up my on the payment now. I can value no I think say Obi, I would say a firmer NPP government. Say a manifesto a year to election. Now rate, growth rate, the growth of the economy is about 7%. Now, you have to have now about 3.2%. Now, the promise say, I'm not 18. The promise is double. Now, you have to have a take over. Now, drop from 8 to 3. Now, catch this man to me and double it to me 0. It's not fair.
A double digit.
The manifesto promise was specific.
Yes, double digits when it was 8.
No, 8 is a single digit.
Yes, when it was 8 under NDC government.
No, why do you still want to track your people?
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not here to prepare your manifesto. You look at the happenings, the current situation, and then you base on it to do your analysis and make your projections. I'm not even saying about 7.something%. The growth.
Time and I'm prepare my manifesto.
Exactly. And you can see with 7.something, by you better double. Get the 7 crack and one say 14 doubled. At the time I had to baby, normal drop from 7.something
about
3.6. Now 3.6, you know, see a double no crown, I ain't double digit.
But
you got my point. And was based on 7.something. In this, I now catch me see. I'm not me first to know. Me can see me the 4 become home. Now I 11. Now double digit. That's on a drop up within 1 year. About 3.9. I don't think I have 3.6.
At the time, you ever talk about a pandemic buy. No, we are hopeful. Say, wait my year. Into another quarter Ghana for him. Say
exactly when it was 7.
No. Yes,
7%. In 2016, you started feeling the real effect of doomsday on the economy. No? You who say na GDP growth na started airtable. There is no public record that say you even issued a communication to say in our manifesto you promise you bet double GDP figures, no double digit. Now they based on 8%. But about 3% is the revised.
As a researcher, you must know say the promise was made based on this basic.
Yes.
And a changing. When you are making the input,
so have you changed your promise? No, keep your promise.
No. Even let's face reality. Investments are during the doomsday period. That's true. You've been seeing the history of Ghana, especially in energy sector.
There's a section of that.
Yeah, you've been seeing the history of Ghana, and sometimes, a man for a presidential candidate John Mahama. Sometimes because investment are why and apart from Kwame Nkrumah, no, me sure say government
specific to the energy sector.
To the energy sector.
But yes. I told you said the issue is not about the capacity storage. The capacity is about how to get money. So the solution wasn't adding
fixe doom son.
It's not true.
Me answer that question during the forum. So maybe if I'll get a chance.
Yeah. All the investments. GM taking care of all the investments.
It's not true.
into
install capacity.
All projections for economic growth for 2017. All projections for economic growth for 2017. 8%.
Yeah, that's true.
Because of the investments I hired into the economy. And NPP.
That's true.
And that is why you should always know.
Now, you proceeds from 2 new oil fields.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
but they always want to take credit for it, but it is our credit.
No. Just face the reality. Now, they would also say, the 14% growth rate under Mills was a consequence of oil production. Which oil
from Meba. It's 209. That growth meant 209.
2010.
No. And see 2009.
Expectation they increase in GDP.
Expectation.
But I think the Doomso argument, maybe we can end it here. Say both parties, deserve credit. And I say, we see a bomb so for ending Doomso. I won't give credit to any political party because before Doomso is just a effect of say, Kania will beat him the Amma. And that one major problem was because near gas free Nigeria. And in the agreement there were 2 problems. Alternate performance. Nigeria beat Makoton gas and then they will pay us in terms of money. And that's secondly, they may not even give you the gas because you owe them. So naturally, but you may keep a small amount of natural gas to keep the pipelines and running. That was the problem we face. Therefore, the next objective is okay, then you may use oil. And light crude oil is expensive. We'll be able to your natural gas around $9 per MMBTU. But we'll be light crude oil around $58. So the electricity may generate, bare limited. So I dare say, then may produce a credit, then I have to ration it. That is doing so. Then the NDC government thought that okay, enough of trying to build relations, gas, let's expand our capacity. Then they went into several agreements. So it is out of work in the who say Amerimo, something like Car Power Mokra Eba on board, then other IPPs cry Eba on board, and now we have Send Power and the other Senate money adin Eba on board. Now when NPP so Eba I didn't say. The challenge for doing so was fuel security. So, may on fuel security. But before the NDC even left power, they had completed engagement with SGN, and the World Bank had given its support for the Sankofa natural gas project. Then, what the NPP also did was that, okay, natural gas produced in Takrade, if you look at the demand for gas in Takrade, or form chain in Tema, let me build the interconnector.
Then reverse flow.
Yes, reverse flow, $20 million project. They completed that one. So then, gas can flow from Takrade to Tema, straight to Tema. Uninterrupted. And the next question was,
machines know how we can run them. Power.
The daytime, what is it?
So then, now there's natural gas, but remember, the car power was running on light crude oil because they were Tema and at that interconnected.
And they had to move it to
yes, so that's why the NPP pursued that least cost fuel policy approach. Say, then every power plant in the country, if it's possible, should run on natural gas. Then they move car power to Takrade. So at the end, say now there's natural gas available, the BI available to now run the investment or install generations that the NDC had now procured. But the question is, demand not rise too much to the expectations. So if you look at even USAID power impact program now, one problem of Ghana and any government, the BSM say we don't really do a long-term plan of our energy demands in the idea. So it may be catch here by surprise. But me at that point, any president would have done what the former president did say. I'm in a challenge, and when you are always in deficit, you are open to abuse. And that abuse is that power project or let's say generators will come in at a higher price because you have a deficit, the demand will push the price up. That is why we had PPA, power purchase agreement. The prices were high, and now it's costing us about 500 million Ghana cedis, even if you don't use
of their investment.
Definitely, because the demand will not rise. So
took advantage.
If this government, that one there, once there is a deficit, once you have a shortage there, everywhere in the world, once there's a shortage, even in the competitive markets in the crowd, once there's a shortage in the market, the prices will increase. That's why we had high expensive PPEs. Now, there's natural gas available because even SGN was fully completed. The agreement was fully completed by NDC, even under this Alex Mood.
And SGN, Sankofa
fully non-associated natural gas. So the question is, they on NDC year investment, you know, NPP to abaye investment nibi
on now security especially.
Yes. So now by a bipartisan collaboration, the two governments have resolved doing so.
Yeah.
And that is one of the best collaborations. Political parties should champion and say, even if you balance a project to what, we should forge to complete it because the impact is powerful.
Yeah.
Now, that is the reason why industries are running uninterrupted. That is the reason why our social services are running uninterrupted. That's the reason why our government is making revenue because some investment had already been made. There has been agreement. But when I came, I also even smoothing the investment climate that Obikra Basobam Fu or Krana, there's security. And they set up the Energy Sector Financial Restructuring and Recovery Task Force. On my first phase of negotiation of some PPAs are expensive. Okay. A bipartisan approach. Every government can take the credit.
Every
government can take the
credit. Now, you're trying to say, investments on several platforms.
Yes.
I can say the problem we are facing in the country is not about increasing the install capacity.
Yes.
But we have to get money, manage the economy in such a way that we
have to out of fuel.
Buy fuel to run the existing ones now. It will solve our problems for you. It is an investment in and manage economy and to me and fuel and firm capacity I can still be there.
I understand you, but except to say, Honorable, so at the time and former Vice President Baumia Kasan seminar now installed capacity and even available capacity power available. No? It was just equal to your peak load demand.
Yes.
But in every way,
it's equal to
reserve.
Yeah, reserve margin at least 25% of the total.
Because we did nothing. Because we are not still you catch us
Ghana foot here at least
parliament. We told them say niamu ye enya solution.
Yes.
Solution is say mumpe kwamba faso debt na moja wa Nigeria no West Africa mukwakutua na gas na tumi flu sin flu dun so ne bejai niamu ye nya ne kwan no mumpe sika amotuma manage economy no ni enya in Africa nya ikoto light crude oil ni yatumi de abe power generators na ye wono dum so no bejai ampa ye ba he no na sa car power ni American adi na issues bi ntino na ye nyusukura chiri yankura ye mu bi na MPs and then pressure to energy minister finance minister say I don't agreement no end it for na sign you about $9 million dollars million a year ayetua inti adenti na ye samedi nyina na dum so na ni ho because na capacity e won
from a futuristic perspective the demand will always grow. So I think that what the past government tried to do is that let me just approach this thing once.
You say there is an honorable the level of investment at JM here in the energy sector should be appreciated by them. And everybody, because when you that level of investment, where will Ghana be?
To milk the nation.
Yes.
No, and
politics need be fin your money. Investment.
Agreements be by parliament. Katie Hammond, kinds anyway. We are paying the cost of something that we are not using as a country.
I think we all agree around this table. Say. Two parties make effort in
I know your opinion, but I don't see it like that because that capacity can say it's equal.
But the point is that if you have
because we are being charitable say they will count because of the oil
agreement where you sue power.
no.
Because agreements now one
day. It's in every
it's not in every.
It depends on your position.
Exactly.
When you have excess,
I think for both of you, this debate, because entrenched positions will. Then the person on the social screen as well. Explain where my name fan wrap up na your next topic.
It is okay. Yes, a grading scale as well. Between 50 to 60%. We below the 55 margin is a weak progress, but anything above 55 margin will be a fair, satisfactory progress. Satisfactory in the sense that although some activities has been done, nonetheless, it is not really well appreciable to get to say there has been good progress in terms of your commitment to delivering that change agenda for jobs, creating an equal society and prosperity for all. So in terms of delivering that manifesto, there's been a fair progress.
From the NPP.
From the NPP.
At least marks are
yes, from
in the fair, satisfactory
progress.
In
I'm
terms
sure
of
if
delivery.
we get a chance now, you break it down, the PowerPoint time in DBA, we will not get a chance to do that. But you can see that it's a fair progress.
Okay.
And it's balanced.
You are feeling uncomfortable, but
in the final more in the final more final comment on this.
When you kakra no one say
my final comment is
final comment on this.
On energy and that's on the score.
On the score.
Medical judgment say it's just too low.
Okay.
Looking at what we have done.
Okay.
But ABR may depend what they put into their basket in forms of data. ABR now want any data going forward. Exactly. Going forward, they should consult the parties or the government. Say whether it's in the party in opposition or government, say my do you be here data we move information be about or the banner na data mo to me person dey analysis na nya for search chin how dey abano dey or some of and I think we mo access parliament dey catch you who access me at least ma me nya input ma me kire o ma adwuma no hye be bia wait ni wo na wait out of so and I feel ya can several can say emra in opposition you can ma Ghana for etias say enye install capacity ye nintin ye wodu so and partly here reserve, but na capacity one is equal to our peak demand.
Yes.
Inti na ye here say you bet me your fuel, near power and store capacity no, near equal to our peak demand. It will take us from
but you don't run a system like that.
Yes,
no, I don't know the slightest okay, for honestly.
Inti me end no. See you to me equal, you to me then we think of reserve no. But what the soon because you are short of because you can't get fuel to get equal to
with demand.
With demand, no. And some of our reserve, when you say, me run equal to the risk is very high.
Okay.
High risk is better than being in doing so to collapse industries. Until you have power pennies, no, we run the high risk instead of collapsing industry. No. Yeah, baby, you better fuel, no, you're equal to. Now agreement be almost son haphazardly, basa no, you're finishing, you're touching it quickly. Near to me, I your reserve. At the point in time, you person your tongue power maybe. But which agreement on Koya is about 18 cents. I want to compare across the countries, nearby countries, with me so they took advantage of the system to milk the nation.
That's your opinion. Seth, finally on the manifesto, that you move to the next topic.
Oh well, I think IMANI akasa ho aye won adwuma. Do baby me gina na I felt say omama NPP for no marks bebre but ni nyina ye kabi ma men kabi amambu na ye but they me pese me nua na ofi NPP ti ase na say omo appreciate their government bi aye e do energy sector
yes we nua na make
me ayo pacho mashe what I say in the history of the Fourth Republic, no, JM now had the highest investment in the energy sector.
In the last 20 years.
Yes.
In the last 20
Yes.
years. In terms of capacity.
Yes.
Capacity.
JM. No two ways.
Because it moved from a little over 2,000 to close to 5,000.
Figures from where the Energy Commission, Energy Statistics. So between 2000 to 2020. So they picked NDC starting in 2009.
Yes.
And the installed generation was 1,970.
Absolutely.
They left office in 2016. It was 3,790.
3,790.
And the next investment materialized in 2017. Early part of 2017, they ended with 4,388. And this government
megawatts,
yes,
in terms
megawatts.
of installed capacity.
Then Abai so a pijama free, so 4,388 into 5,170.
5,180.
Mama, this scenario.
I don't need you to come because of time in Timepacho. It is what it means. They say for in terms of megawatts addition, no,
additions there.
NDC they call PIM 4,388.
Yeah.
And NPP
Jeffrey 4,388 to 5,172.
Okay. Into the claim say Abai we add a megawatt to installed capacity is
even
not true.
2018 Sen Power even started.
Sen Power started.
Yeah,
Is it was Sen Power's PPA? No, was it signed under NDC under this government?
Well, I think that one it was part of those ones that was signed before the administration of this government. But this government facilitated that. I think agreement, but the cost benefit analysis wouldn't have been more expensive compared to the others they are renegotiating.
Okay. Okay.
So now even grant addition. The addition is based on our foundation.
Let's see what foundations
even addition is based on the foundation.
In the last 20 years, they can give them a credit. In the last 20 years.
I'm so JM on energy.
We have to end this topic. And yes, I use time.
Hold on.
Nnawotwe dwumadi no microphones no off into Nnawotwe. Nnawotwe dwumadi na mani so amoshe wa Adom TV and amutie wa Asempa 94.7 FM. And we'll see a move to your next topic. We have barely 30 minutes to go to the end of the show.